G'day guys, welcome back to Ruffo's Garage. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are finally starting to crack into the Mitsubishi L200. We're going to start doing the EFI conversion on that. I have basically started from the start, and we start basically recovering the vehicle from underneath my house, getting up to the shed, pulling it apart, cleaning it up, and then getting to a certain point of the EFI conversion. Let's get into it and sit back and relax and enjoy. Cheers. So I guess first things first is we'll try and get these tyres pumped up, and then we'll see if we can roll this thing out of here. Alright, so we got it where we need it, so we can open the driver's side door, because where we are it's very tight, and I need to open the driver's side door because I need to get a steering wheel. Look at the shit in here. God damn. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go get a steering wheel, put it on. Ah, god damn it, battery will be dead because we left the ignition on. Shit. Alright, we'll go grab the steering wheel out of the Radiator and comfort it and make sure it's going to go out the gate straight. Wish me luck. Tips for young players who want to recover their own vehicles: make sure you're in neutral before you try and start anything. Fuck me. So good news, car's in the shed. Bad news, I sort of got stuck in the middle of the road, and I had to pretty much wait for the next car to come down the street to help me push it off. So shout out to that bloke that stopped to give me a push. So now, what are we dealing with here? This is a 1985 Mitsubishi L200. Running gear is currently a 4G54. When I bought it, everything was running and driving. And if you've been around the channel long enough, you know I'm pretty good at turning cars that are running, driving perfectly into basically paperweights. So that's what this has been for the last 3 years. It's just a paperweight sitting under my house. So as you can see, we've got a bit of a mess. We've got wiring, we've got intakes half pieced together, we've got distributors just sitting there, more wiring. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to pull everything out that's not bolted down, work out the wiring harness, and piece it back together, I guess. So so far so good. Got the injectors plugged in, temp sensors plugged in. And then what you want to do, right, after you go ahead and put 100 zip ties everywhere, what you want to do, cut them on a nice sharp angle, so the next poor bastard that gets his arm in here gets sliced up. Isn't that right, electricians? Get the other half of this intake on then. See where we're at. Hey. Hey. Where's a good boy? Where's a good boy? Hurry, hurry, hurry. Ugh. You got those scritches? You got a good position, hey? You got a good spot right in front of that bloody fan on the wall, hey? You stay there, I'll do the work. Could be worse, it's Thursday and I could be at work. So I put the original cable bolted in. I think what I'm going to have to do is, not quite long enough. Another problem. But good news is the radiator came in. So the radiator I use is from a 60 series, Toyota 60 series. So from what I was reading up, it's just a matter of extra holes, I believe, in the rad support to mount it. You know, height and everything's good. The hose inlet and outlets all on the right side. So I might go grab that and mount this up so it looks like I've actually achieved something this morning. So but intake's looking good. Intake's on. Problem number one is studs for the mechanical driven water pump fan have to come out. These literally just hit on the plastic shroud of the fan, so I'll rip them out and keep going. So I'm not sure where I went wrong with the FJ62 radiator fitting. Because something tells me that that ain't gonna work. Nothing about it is going to work. So yeah, that's unfortunate about the radiator, but I guess that's the life of playing with cars, isn't it? So all right, third time lucky. Let's see if this radiator fits. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah. Unfortunately, there was no option for fans with this radiator, so I'm gonna have to make something work. But good news is that fits, which is awesome. That's a good start of the day. Now I just got to centralize it, work out where it's going, probably drill some holes, some just riv nuts in there to support it, and keep on keeping on. So one of the main problems I seem to be facing is, if you look at the old radiator support, all that down the bottom and here, if you want to sit the radiator nice and flush, it sits proud. So you might just grab the hammer and dolly, tap them flat, just so that it sits nice and flush on that rad support. So I'll guess I'll find those tools and flatten that out a bit. So I reckon the easiest option is just going to be to get a paint marker and just trim when it wants to work. Come on, wakey wakey. Get a paint marker and just trim where I'm going to cut after I get a better paint marker. So I've just confirmed that the radiator actually fits. Close the bonnet, check the clearance and everything, so clearance is good. And I'm just trying to centralise it. Let's see where I'm going to put these mounting holes. So let's see, that's the next mission, is to find out what I'm going to do about that. Didn't cut too much out, it was just a smidgen around that shroud, so I think I'll just find the happy medium, measure between the guards, measure the center of the radiator. That'll be the center, that'll be where it goes. So I don't think I want to really lift it up too much higher than that. I've got it sitting on a bit of timber at the moment supporting it, just to put it in the position. So yeah, I'll just measure centers and go from there. Alright, so after umming and ahhing for probably an hour now, I think my best option is going to be to use the existing holes in the radiator support, and then what I'm going to do is cut strips of plate, bolt that plate to the existing mounts, and then in the plate have a riv nut to support the radiator mounts. So I think that's going to be the best way to go. When you try and centralise it, it's too far one way and then there's a big gap on the other side. You go the other way and there's a big gap. So I think what's going to be the easiest thing is just to have strips, mount it there, and as you can see, it'll sit nicely. Put a riv nut in, something like that. Obviously not that thick, but strips of plate in there, and then if it feels still a little bit flimsy, I'll just chuck a couple of welds around the edge of it. So I'll get these drawn up and cut out, and hopefully that'll mount that radiator finally. So. Okay, see how these fit. See how they fit first and then drill a hole. So, radiator's sitting in there, sitting pretty central, pretty happy with it. Those tabs I've put in, so I just put the two top ones in at the moment. You can see how much off center the original mountings are, so, and you can see this bolt's fouling, so I've just marked, just put a little mark on the radiator shroud. Now I'll just grind that out a little bit. You can see how those tabs are going to work, so I'll undo this and I'll push the tab in a little bit and then put a riv nut in it. Same as this one, it'll just be a simple riv nut in that as well, and the bottom ones as well. So yeah, anyway, so glad I finally got an idea sorted out, so we're just getting it done. Alright, so we got 445 and 445. Beautiful. And we're sitting pretty level there, so that's good. That's what we want. Alright, I might get the rib nuts sorted in those two top mounts and then sort the bottom ones out. Nice and solid, that's just the top ones done. Alright, so it's definitely been a minute since I've filmed any progress on the red rig, but what I'm currently trying to work out is the intake side of things, so let's go have a look. So original plan, run the intake pipe over to the box on this side, somehow mount it there, and then run a simple bit of pipe in between. However, too many issues trying to mount that airbox, and it was just a bit too difficult for me to waste a lot of time doing, so I scrapped that idea. The next option was to try to run a pipe similar to this on the intake manifold, which didn't leave me much room in the corner. So third time lucky, what I went and got was an elbow, which is the same size as the throttle body and the same size as the MAF sensor, so it sits on nicely like this. Put a post on one of the 4G54 pages trying to work out how I'm going to go around using the standard airbox, and people suggested this little bad boy, which is an adapter for the MAF sensor. Simply just bolts onto the MAF sensor on this side, filter on this side, and that gets rid of the ugly airbox. So let's fit it all up and see how it fits. As you can see, final product, a lot nicer than a massive airbox and an ugly air intake hose, so that fits up nicely. Thanks to whoever recommended that, so that's going to save me so much room. And now let's go see how it fits in the engine bay. Nice little pod filter on here. Extend the wiring for the MAF sensor, which is over here somewhere. Here, extend that wiring to MAF sensor. Intake sorted. Another thing I've done is I went back to the Magna throttle cable. As you can see, made a little bracket underneath that fits the intake manifold. I've only dummy hooked it up for the throttle pedal. That's going to work so much better than originally thought, so I've got that half sorted. I've also had the intake manifold off, sorting out the heating lines and the cooling lines. So I've blocked off the 2 hoses for your heater core, so I'm not going to worry about running a heater in this. Just worried about running coolant through the head, so I've gone away from that. As you can see, top radiator hose is fitted, clears the intake, and then what I'm going to do is cut these 2 hoses off there for coolant to run through your throttle body. Fortunately, in North Queensland, I'm not going to have issues with it being too cold up here, so I can just block them off, cut them off, and be done with that. I have one more hose to fit down here for your cooling system, which will complete the cooling system, so that'll be done. Fuel system has been re-plumbed, so new hoses. I've tested the fuel pumps, they both work. I just need to rewire them in. New hoses, need to secure a filter and run my last hose. Just a simple setup from the tank to a lift pump to my surge tank to an inline pump to the fuel rail. So just a simple EFI conversion fuel pump setup, fuel system setup. So that's done. I have mounted the ECU behind the dash, so I've just used the standard ECU harness bracket that came from the Magna, put an extra couple of holes in it and mounted it up under there, so it fit up there nicely. So pretty happy with how that come out. Hopefully you won't see that once the dash is back together. Mounted the seats up, but that's about it that's been done here. So as you can see, definitely making progress on the red rig. It is taking a lot longer than I expected. However, I am not surprised because everything takes a lot longer than expected. So however, progress, not perfection. So that's the motto I've started to learn, and that's the motto I'm going to start living by. So there's progress happening on that ute. I'm sorry I haven't filmed a lot of it. A lot of it is just running ideas back and forth. For example, you've seen the radiator, so that was a big stuff around. You've seen the intake, so that was, you know, 3 or 4 different ideas that I had there. So yeah, making progress on that. I'm going to leave it there. As you can see, there's still a lot to happen, so I'm going to make this a 2-part series. On the next part, it'll be finish the cooling system, it'll be finish the intake, it'll be mount the throttle cable correctly, put some fluids in, wire in some fuel pumps, put a battery in this thing, and hopefully turn key. As always, guys, thanks for stopping by and watching my videos. If you're an existing subscriber, you know I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, bye.